Right, hello and welcome back to the Stevie P channel for another reaction video. Now, yesterday we did to Leicester versus Toulouse, and I basically said that Leicester look unstoppable at the moment, and that right now it's difficult to see a team that can beat them. However, the team above me, this is probably the team that could potentially beat them. The only team I think at the moment who could potentially beat them right now. And that is Rochelle, who are going to take them on in the final of the Champions Cup. However, it will be at the Viva Stadium, so home ground advantage there for Leinster. But we thought we'd have a look at how Rochelle got past the Exeter Chiefs this past weekend, and what we can sort of expect from them in the in that Champions Cup final, which will take place on the 20th of May. We'll obviously be doing a watch along over on Forever Sports for that. So if you've never heard of Forever Sports, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead over to that side and go and check out what you've been missing, which is a lot of cool coverage and lots of fun videos that we've been doing and stuff. But yeah, it was a very impressive performance from La Rochelle this weekend as they beat Exeter 47 points to 28. And for a South African perspective, very cool because there are two very, very competent outside backs in the likes of Raymond and Dylan Lates in the South African side, and one of them getting on the scoreboard during this match. And Exeter, obviously, the side that downed the Stormers, and so yeah, I think a lot of South African fans will probably be supporting Leicester in that final. But yeah, I think also very cool to see the likes of Raymond and Dylan Lates involved at La Rochelle, and I think that they've playing very well, and very cool to see just how well they are playing. But La Rochelle are currently the Canadian Cup champions. They won last year. They beat Leinster last year. They've been in two finals. As you can see, Raymond already getting over the advantage line. What a player he is, and just looks for work these days. And it's very much sort of changed a lot of his game in terms of his defensive shortcomings, which were an issue for him back in the day, which are no longer quite sort of the same. He's really worked on that area of his game. But Exeter, I thought, was very impressive in the early stage when they beat the Stormers. And as you can see here, punching above their weight at the end of the day. Not favoured to be beating the likes of Rochelle. But certainly gave it a go. Certainly gave it a go. And in fact, got the first points of the game. And as Exeter, I mean, you must be absolutely buzzing in this sort of situation. You're playing in the Champions Cup semi-final. As I said, not expected to compete. Not really expected to give them a real go. This was kind of a game, once again, a little bit like the Leinster game. Most Leinster games, not Toulouse necessarily, but a lot of Leinster games where you kind of, the results almost sort of predetermined. Not expected to have done this well, but open the scoring first through Sam Simmons, who is playing very good rugby, and very interesting to see if Borthwick can get the best out of him in an England jersey. And Will Skelton at number 5. But this was Raymond first try. Not the best highlights of it, but there we go. Raymond getting onto the scoreboard, which is good to see. Very good kick as well. They're coming from Hastaway, the Rochelle. This is a tidy finish. Tidy finish from Raymond Roulet. They've got paper involved about the closest we're going to be able to get to a Champions Cup final, semi-final, or final this season. That is a very, very good turnover. Very important turnover as well. And then Gregory Aldred down the blind side. What he loves to do so much. And there he is again. Tell you what, there's just certain sort of players which are so important. That's the lace, by the way, unless you don't recognise them. Certain players which I think will have to be so good if they are to beat Leinster. And I'm looking at the players like a Gregory Aldred, like a Raymond Roulet, for example. Will Skelton, I think, will be incredibly important against that Leinster side. Uno Antonio, obviously, at tight head, be a very important. But Gregory Aldred, though, for me, and Kerbarlow, two of the top sort of players, which I think if they both pitch up in that final, it's going to be a really cool matchup to see. Probably a Jack Conan versus a Gregory Aldrich. You're going to see Kerbarlow versus, Jamison Gibson Park. Really cool matchups there as well. Just the way that they keep the ball alive, La Rochelle. I think that, look, having New Zealand scrum off is always going to help that, isn't it? But I mean, look at the speed of play there. Always look at the offload. That's a brilliant offload as well. Highest back is not the best, must admit, but we've got to take what we can work with. What a line! What an absolutely brilliant line that is. Let's have a look at that. And just there, I mean, from there, you actually don't think much is on, to be honest. Which almost sort of where's Sartelli come from? I mean, he's sort of drifting there, but this is just an absolutely brilliant line. Then he's just, yeah, I mean, it's all down to the dummy run and just pierce straight through that gap over. I mean, it looks very easy, but I tell you what, didn't look like there was much on there. It's an absolutely brilliant line that he's run. Now Exeter. I was actually pretty impressed. I've been impressed with what I've seen from Woodburn in both the game against Stormers as well as sort of what I've seen of this game as well. It gets a lot of work and you know you like a wing that's not just sort of pure pace and just finishes. Somebody that likes to try and get involved as much as possible. Gregory Aldred trying to get involved there. That is the thing. You just see that scrum cap everywhere. I mean, it's not the best highest package, but we're just sort of chopping in between sort of different clip stuff again. And there sort of seems to be one constant, and that is that scrum cap just popping up absolutely everywhere. There it is again. There it is again. He's just absolutely everywhere. And I tell you what, one of the probably the best number 8 on his day in world rugby at the moment, which is a big call because I mean, look, you know, Caden Doris for example is playing some brilliant rugby. Dwayne Vermeulen, I think, is still part with the rest of them. But Gregory Aldridge, you can't keep him out the game. You cannot keep him out the game when he's playing like this. Yeah, Jack Noel guilty, I think, there of just shooting ahead of his line. But yeah, best number 8 at the moment, I mean, Artis Severe. Top number 8, Sam Simmons, I think if they can get him right, is a really, really proper player as well. Klapper Faltar still has, you know, at the moment, that's just absolutely dreadful, isn't it? Absolutely dreadful. Yeah, very keen to see the battle of the 8. So who's going to be the best 8? Oh, it's good support line, running in the tries there. That's pretty much, that's kind of game set and match, isn't it? I mean, you're 2 minutes away from half time. You score a try, you can see the try, and all of a sudden you're going down 19 points into the halftime break. And what do you really say to a team when you're down 19 points at halftime? There's not much to say. The game is pretty much gone, to be honest. There's the big man, Antonio. You don't want to be running into him. I just wish we sort of understand the context of some of these clips. That's a pretty dreadful kick. That's not a great kick. And then from it, oh, it's so pinpoint. Raymond Roulet once again, and the conversion to come. I mean, Raymond Roulet, I've been saying for a while, is a genuine option for the box, and everybody keeps saying no, you can't defend, yada yada yada. Go and watch some top 14. Go and watch how this man is playing his rugby. He's playing for the current European champions, and he's one of their top performers. Really, really, really cool to see sort of the renaissance of Raymond Roulet. Dylan Yates as well, playing some proper good rugby. Also covers a lot of positions, played a bit of fly half with them as well. Plays fullback, covers wing. So that versatility, which has come to know for if you want to try and get into the box setup. Guess who? Just guess who, by the way. Straight over the ball. Gregory Aldred once again back involved. Surely that's forward. Yeah. The scrum as well. The scrum battle's going to be interesting between Leinster. You got an Irish front row against, you know, Antonio, who I think Antonio Andrew Porter battle is going to be really, really cool to see. Big tight fives. Will Skelton adds a lot of weight in that second row for La Rochelle, and that's going to be a big part of it as well. Rolling more, just too powerful. Battle of the Packs. It is going to be interesting. There are so many exciting backline players in both Leinster and La Rochelle, but I do think it is going to be a Battle of the Packs. I do think it is going to be whichever pack really pitches up on the day. That'll be the pack that comes good. It's a nice little covering defense. A couple of mistakes, though, you see from makes some pretty poor mistakes as well. Tell you what, I want to try and pull up some of the stats from Gregory Aldred, because goodness me, this looks like a hell of a performance from him. That held up as well. No, it isn't. Bit of a late charge here from Exeter. It was a bit of a late charge. You could see that La Rochelle opened up quite a big lead quite quickly and then couldn't really capitalize on it. So Exeter, in fact, leading the late charge. That would have been Raymond Lulu's hat-trick if he managed to get over that. Not a fan of the whole white patch to put the number. I'd rather just make it a white number and stuff like that. As if we decided to get into kit reviews. Maybe we should get into kit reviews, you know, ranking the top kits in the URC and stuff like that. I reckon that's actually a good idea. We might have to do a tier list for that. It's very cool to see how Rochelle keep the ball alive all the time. Kurbalo. What a player. Used to absolutely love watching him play in Super Rugby, and now he's tearing it up in the top 14. Right, 10 minutes to go. Exeter still leading quite long. So Woodburn, as I said, was impressed with them early on. Joe Simmons played a pretty good game as well against the Stormers. And they eventually did have the last laugh, but yeah, coming up well short. And we're never really in the game with Exeter. It's a little bit like Toulouse, who had a bit of a fight back, but to be honest, Leinster were pretty comfortable for most of the game. That's a very nice scrum. And then a little late try to finish things off, but it's an impressive performance from La Rochelle, and it's going to be a very cool match to watch. Interesting to see, you know, two coaches, quite contrasting styles, and interesting to see how they sort of counter each other, you know, whether they stick to their own game plan and back it to be able to work. Are they going to be putting out different things to try and specifically stop each other? You know, are La Rochelle going out to beat Leinster, or are La Rochelle going out there to play good rugby and beating Leinster in the process? Similar thing with Leinster. Do Leinster play Leinster's game, or do they play a game that was going to work against specifically La Rochelle? They are to try and get another 5th Champions Cup victory. But let me know what you think. Who's going to win down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the match and what you think about La Rochelle as a team. And as well, the Exeter Chiefs. Is this them on the rise, or is this one of those sort of isolated campaigns where they had a good cup run but might not be able to replicate it next season? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys soon.